everyone, I am the Sports Wiz 101, and today I'll be giving you my predictions for the NFC in 2023. So if that sounds good to you, please like and subscribe for more to come. I already sent out my AFC predictions this past week. Next week I'll be giving some playoff predictions based on these predictions I'm giving out. And after that, I'll be giving my weekly predictions for each NFL game. So that sounds good to you. Let's get started in the NFC. So starting with the division that I think will have the top seed in the NFC, that is the NFC West. I got the 49ers winning it. I think you can make the argument that they're the most talented team in football. You can make the argument that they have the best coaching staff in football. I wouldn't necessarily be the one arguing either of those points, but the argument could be made. One thing I will argue, though, is I think they have one of the weakest schedules in all of football. And it's to the point where I do not have this team losing any more than 3 games in any of my predictions. And really, there's only 2 things that I feel like could slow them down. To me, they have to be combined. And those are the injury bug and potential regression of Brock Purdy. So, I did say a couple years ago that it feels like the 49ers are either really, really injured or really, really good. And you look at this past season, they were both. They got to the NFC Championship only to have all of their quarterbacks go down with injuries. And if that happens again and Brock Purdy isn't the Brock Purdy we saw last year, this could be a very disappointing 49ers team. But I don't see that happening, so I got them winning the NFC West as well as getting the top seed in the NFC. Then you look at the Seahawks. Potential issues for the Seahawks are really similar to what I had for San Francisco. You gotta worry about how Geno Smith progresses back to the backup quarterback that he had seemed to be playing as prior to last year. Again, I don't see that happening. So I think the Seahawks are a for sure playoff team, especially if Jackson Smith and Jigba can play a role in an offense already with 2 pretty good wide receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Then you look at the other 2 teams. You have the Rams and the Cardinals. The 2 worst teams in this division by far. I could be a bit low on the Rams. I mean, the offense is decent so long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy. The defense, though, is Aaron Donald and 10 random guys. Then you look at the Cardinals. You have a team that I think is the clear-cut favorite for the first overall pick. So that just goes to show you what I think of the Cardinals. Moving over to the NFC East. Where I have the Dallas Cowboys winning the East. For really 3 main reasons. The East does not like repeat champions. They have not had a repeat champion since the mid-2000s. And for that streak to be broken this year, the Eagles would have to win this division. But if we're looking at history, it just says they won't. Especially seeing as number 2, they lost both their coordinators to coaching positions. You had Jonathan Gannon go to the Cardinals. You had Shane Steichen go to the Colts. And then number 3, I think we may see a pretty good version of Dak Prescott this year. Especially if what Mike McCarthy said about wanting to go to a run-heavy offense holds true. I think Dak Prescott tends to play his best in a game, in a offense with a strong rushing attack, kind of like Ezekiel Elliott their rookie year. So yeah, I got the Cowboys winning the East. Eagles will still be a really good team though, so I gotta give them a wild card. And then you have the other two, the Washington Commanders. I got them 8-9. I really want them to be better, just because they have Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. Eric Bieniemy, it feels like for him to be a coach, he has to succeed in Washington. Because for whatever reason, teams would rather get the Joe Judges of the world than go after Eric Bieniemy. I'm not exactly sure that he'll be able to do it with Sam Howell, but I do believe in an Eric Bieniemy-led offense enough for me to bump the Commanders up a bit. And then you have the Giants, who I was off on last year. I thought they'd be the same old Giants last year. Instead, they went and made the playoffs. I do have them regressing a bit, but if last year's any indication, I could very easily be wrong about the Giants. I just see some regression from the Giants, and especially from Daniel Jones. Moving on, looking at the other two divisions, where I feel like these are the two most intriguing divisions in football. Quite simply because I think there's a lot of unknown in these two. Look at the next division we're going to be looking at. My next division, the NFC North, where there's a lot of things that I think I know about these teams. But at the same time, it could very easily be the other way around. Like, I think, like many others, that the Lions are set to break through and win the NFC North. But I think it's just as likely that last year is more of a one-year wonder type of thing. I think that Jordan Love is going to be somewhat disappointing, kind of like how Aaron Rodgers was when he had his first full season. But what if he's not? I think the Vikings regress a bit, especially after going, 11-1 in close games, with the one loss happening in the playoffs. But they could very easily be a 10-win team that wins the division once again. And then you have Chicago. I don't think they improve that much. I don't think the Bears are going to be that good, and that's coming from someone who really wants Justin Fields to succeed in the NFL. Well, what if they are a vastly improved team? What if they're the most improved team in the league? I could very easily see that happening. But yeah, just a lot of unknown in the NFC North, which is a bit more than I can say about than the NFC South. Why? So you look at the NFC South, and yeah, there's a lot of unknown for me. The one team I think I have down is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to be a good team. They won the division last year, but I view that as mostly because of Tom Brady. This year they get a severe downgrade at quarterback and going from Brady to Baker Mayfield. You throw in the fact that their head coach is Todd Bowles, who is not a good head coach. And this is a Buccaneers team that I don't think is going to be that good. The one redeeming quality of the Buccaneers might be their defense. But even then, I don't think the defense is going to be good enough to save them in most of their games. Then you go with the other three teams, who I think all three of these teams could win this division. Yes, even the Saints, who I have at 4-13. You could easily make an argument that the Saints are the best team in this division, and I would agree with you. I could see a world where the New Orleans Saints are the NFC South champions. Especially after making an upgrade at quarterback in going to Derek Carr. That being said, I don't think Carr is much of an upgrade. He's a slight upgrade, but not much of one. Throw in their coach, and I think the Saints will be a bit disappointing. The other two teams, the Panthers and the Falcons, I have tossed and turned. I have, at various points of this season, thought the Panthers were going to win. And I've at various points thought that the Falcons were going to win. A couple of weeks ago, in fact, I thought the Falcons were going to win this division. Granted, it would be a team that leans on their skill position players, and especially on the rookie Bijan Robinson. I felt like it could happen. But then I started thinking about other assets of the team. And really, that's where Carolina shines over Atlanta, and especially in the coach-quarterback combination. I would rather have Carolina's Young and Reich over Atlanta's Ritter and Smith. Do I think Bryce Young will make his fair share of rookie mistakes? Absolutely. Do I think he'll still make enough big plays despite that in order for the Panthers to win this division? Also, absolutely. So I've got the Panthers going from the first overall selection to winning the NFC South. The Panthers will be the 4th seed. As for Atlanta, don't worry about them. They'll have the 3rd and final wild card in this conference. So there you go. Let's look at what the playoff matchups would look like. You'd have the 7th-seeded Falcons would make the trip to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And then you have that 5th-seed Eagles taking on the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. Then you have the Detroit Lions, the 3rd seed. They would be home to take on the 6th seed Seahawks. And, of course, the 49ers get home field throughout the NFC playoffs and that first round bye. Well, there you go. There's my predictions for the NFC in 2023. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more to come in the following weeks. I've been the Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all later.